It's morning here at D-Lab. I'm getting ready for my all-day task, and that is to repair this Collins 51J4 receiver. The receiver is in excellent cosmetic shape, but unfortunately it's dead. The owner told me as soon as he plugged in the AC cord, it would pop the fuse. I thought, well, maybe there's something in line with the AC that could be a problem. The only thing in line was a fuse, and yep, it was blown. So I brought the receiver up using my Variac, and I couldn't even apply a volt and it would pop the fuse. I inspected the unit. I can see a bulge on the power transformer. I measured across the primary itself, directly shorted, and there was about 400 ohms from each post to ground, so the transformer's toast. Unfortunately, there's only one option for replacing that power transformer, and that is the Peter Dahl custom built unit. Reason is the dimensions. I'll show you that in a minute. Here's the back of the chassis. This is the power transformer I need to replace. You can see that's one of those old military potted style. It measures approximately 3 1/4 by 4 inches. I already removed the rectifier tube, filter cap. I need to get this tube out of the way too. But you can see it's a very tight fit. There's actually a bulge right here on this side. When I was in here popping out that filter cap, which was also original, I found that one section is open. So I'm going to have to come up with a solution for that. But right now I just need to focus on the power transformer. Now we're bottom side. Right down there you can see the terminals for the power transformer. They're a turret style, and they're right bottom side of the radio. That power transformer is sitting underneath of this coil and cap assembly. Down there you can see the turrets. I need to get these out of the way, swing them up, and then land the new transformer. But there is another slight situation. These have turret terminals, so the wiring from the radio go direct to that transformer. The new transformer has leads. So I thought, how am I going to connect this transformer? Should I just splice in the leads? I didn't think that would look too nice. So I believe there's room to mount this military turret board in the place of where those old terminals are, and possibly swing the wires onto these posts, which would be really nice. I'll find out after I remove these components and get that transformer out. I'm getting ready to pull these two components, which are actually both coils. I thought one was a cap and one was just a choke because of this goo I see coming out of the end of this. Oh no, they're both identified as chokes. The other thing that seems strange is when the owner brought this unit to me, he said this radio had been completely refurbished, recapped, etc. I don't see any evidence of any work that's been done to this radio. It looks completely stock. Well, I lifted those coils out of the way, so now we can see the bottom of the power transformer. Looks like there would be room right in the middle to mount my turret board. So I need to document what's there, tag these wires, make sure it's done right the first time. I've taken some detailed pictures of the base of the transformer. Luckily, Peter Dahl identified all these wires that correlate with the terminals on the transformer itself. The little turret board should be able to nest right down there. Bring the wires up each side, swing them onto it. Should be pretty slick. Well, there's a visual for you where the terminal board is going to sit. I'm actually going to drill and tap the chassis. I have an insulator board underneath of that. Should mount right up. Alright, got the transformer out. That was quite the job. Take a look at the aluminum. You can see oil, and it's leaking out of the bottom of the transformer. I'm not going to get my hands in that. I'll clean this up, mount the turret board. Hopefully the new transformer drops right in. Oh, there's the new terminal board in place, numbered up just like the transformer was. It's sitting on 440 screws. They're a chassis stud with an insulator underneath. So it should wire up pretty much like the original transformer did. So that was pretty time consuming. Sorry I couldn't show you, but I was working in a hole. So the turret board's in place. Now I need to bring in the transformer, and hopefully I can get to the mounting studs, because the old transformer was square and the studs came out from underneath. The new one has tabs, and I believe they're going to be hidden. So that's going to be a trick. So rather than struggling with trying to mount this transformer with the screws and nuts, I ended up putting on these nice little clips on the legs, and I'll be able to run some number 10 sheet metal screws in from the bottom. Transformer's mounted. I've connected a couple wires to the turret board, and now it's time to connect the power transformer. These wires obviously will be trimmed back. Just taking my time, doing it right. So word of warning, guys, when you go to install this transformer, do not go by these tag numbers that Peter Dahl put on these wires. They don't match the schematic. Refer to your schematic. Verify that you're hooking the right voltages to the right pins. Alright, wiring is complete. It's quite the job. Working in a hole. I had these coils tied up out of my way. I did not want to unwire those, but it really came together nice. I'm going to buzz it out, make sure it's good, get these components remounted. And there is a beautiful Peter Dahl transformer installed in the columns. So my next step, I'm going to bring this up on a variac. I'm going to leave the rectifier tube out just so I can buzz out voltages and make sure she lights up. Here's the initial power up of the columns after replacement of the power transformer. Rectifier tube is not installed. We're going to use this low current variac, and I'm just going to bring up the voltage enough to make sure we see high voltage on that meter. And of course I don't want to see a lot of amperage. Here she comes. So there's about 30 volts. See, you've got about 200 volts over there. You can watch my amperage go up and settle down as the tubes are heating. So it's looking good. And I do see dial lights on the radio. Excellent. Time to move forward with the filter cap replacement. Alright, here's a little close-up of the filter cap solution I came up with for the columns. This is a pair of 47 microfarad 450 volt caps. Negatives go to pin 1. Positives go to 3 and 5. That information came right off of this original cap. A lot easier to do that. There's plenty of room rather than trying to locate one of these crazy plug-in caps. Well, now I have the rectifier tube installed. I checked the old original 5V4 and it was bad. So it's a good thing I changed that out. So I'm going to bring up the receiver with the high voltage on, monitoring over there with the meter. Should start seeing some high voltage here pretty soon. Dial lights are coming on. Current meter's looking good. Here comes the high voltage. I'm only fused here at 1 amp. I don't think it'll clear it because I'm creeping up on it. I just want to see. Oh yeah. There she is. There's some 90 volts applied. Looks good. Control is dirty. I'm sure there's going to be other things I need to address. But the power transformer R&R was successful.
Well,
the only band I found open is 11 meters, but it's working great.
Como que Boston como que no es tropical, esto tropical es para acá para la isla, para allá para Miami, para la costa.
We obviously have skip conditions.
Que tienen una cúpula aparte como los Simpsons.
Very cool.
would definitely take a mission accomplished on the Collins 51J4.